Hey everyone, welcome to the Totally Well Show. I'm your host, Joyce Strong. The Totally Well Show is a place where we get curious, ask questions, and explore everything to do with health, wellness, fitness, personal development, helping people, and all the things it takes to help you live a strong, joyous life. My guest today is Dr. Bruno Gervasi. He is a doctor of physical therapy and well-versed in a holistic approach to health and wellness. He works primarily with people online. And so anywhere in the world where you have internet, you can get in touch with Dr. Gervasi. Best to reach him through LinkedIn, which is where I found him. And I'm so excited to have him as a resource. So with that said, I'm going to send you right into the episode today. Please reach out to Dr. Gervasi and to me with all your health questions, and we're happy to help you. Just direct message us, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. We love questions. So with that said, enjoy the show. Hi, Bruno. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. How are you doing, Joyce?
I'm doing great. So this is my guest on the Totally Well Show, Dr. Bruno Gervasi. Did I say it right?
Nailed it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
awesome. And Dr. Bruno, you talk about so many things. I've met you on LinkedIn, and I've been
Yeah.
following you, and I love your videos. And I see that you answer a lot of the questions that my audience and my clients and patients have. And so I wanted to see if we could touch on some of those key subjects in today's interview.
Yeah, that sounds great. And we were just discussing a little bit, and kind of my focus and what I do is really making people understand that their health is probably the one thing in their life that's limiting them from getting to where they want to go. So I love LinkedIn. The connections are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It feels really real there. So if you're not on LinkedIn, I would get on there because you're actually going to get real connections. You're going to get real conversations. It's not, I don't want to bash Facebook or Instagram or anything, but it feels like a little fake on those sites a little bit. So yeah, that's why I'm on there. And a lot of people on there are focused on building their career, building their business. In this day and age, even like myself, I have an online business with like 2 employees. So anyone can build a business anywhere. So there's a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs out there doing that. But as you get busier, as you have more on your plate, it becomes more and more important that you focus on your health. And I know Joyce knows that, and that's what she promotes. So that's really always been my focus. And a lot of people struggle with weight loss in particular, or pain, because I'm sitting right now, we sit too much, and we're inactive usually because of, especially people on LinkedIn, all my family there. We're so focused on building our careers. That's a lot of things that we do. So yeah, that's really been my mission the last few years as I've kind of built my online business. So yeah.
It's interesting. I just saw a client. I see some people outside my home, but I'm at my home right now, and I see a few people at my home office. So a fellow this morning came in, and his key issues are he's overweight, so he's obese, and he's been coming to me for fat loss. His mother is ill and in hospice. He was laid off from a job, and he's my age, so it's harder now for him. So he's in a different developmental stage, and he's really worried about being able to get health insurance. And I
Okay.
was like, and so you're telling me that you're worried about health insurance, and yet you're not doing the one thing that's going to help you the most, which is
Mhm.
taking care of your health,
Yeah.
so that if you should need it, you'll need it less. So I'm so happy to hear you put this like so top in the list, that the way you said it is this is going to help you do anything you want to do.
Yeah. And I think the younger you are, right, you don't have some of those issues, maybe not
Yes,
on
yeah.
your mind. But you have, like, and this is a big thing on LinkedIn, it's so focused on success, and which is, I love it. And it's always about your control, right? And your health insurance is what you can do right now. So that's super important, right? You have control of how you can move. You have control of what you put into your body. You have control of what you think and what you see. And if you can do those things, like, that's your best health insurance, right? More than anything.
Absolutely.
And I mean, my clients, so I will work with anyone usually from 30 to, I have some clients in their 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter where you're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can always make that change. And a lot of times it can come pretty quick. Like this gentleman, he's been going probably a long time, not doing the right things. If he starts implementing some things that you're probably showing him, he's going to get results pretty quick.
Mhm.
I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm intrigued that that you do most of your work online with people. You're working with people remotely throughout
Yeah.
the world.
Yes, exactly. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. So I went to school as a physical therapist.
Yeah.
Went to school for way too long. It's almost 8 years. I don't want to talk about the student loans or anything like that. But then as I was working, I just went through the same problems that a lot of my clients go through. I was busy. I was in the clinic all the time, like 12-hour days, not eating well. I kind of knew like how to eat healthy. I exercised my whole life. So I was like, I'll exercise here and there. But I didn't make it a priority, and I gained weight. I was not happy with how I looked,
Mhm.
and kind of all the snowball effects of other things in my life going on. And then, so I hired a coach to help me because I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I didn't know nutrition. Like
Mhm.
any doctor out there, like I'm a doctor of physical therapy, so I understand movement really well. I understand your body really well. All my nutrition stuff, I knew nothing. I'm all self-taught there. I know a lot now because the last 4 years
Yeah,
I made a
same with me.
priority to.
I'm an RN, but we don't, MDs,
Yeah,
RNs, we don't learn about nutrition in school. We learn
yeah.
about drugs and treatments, so.
So I guess I did learn about nutrition, but it wasn't real world nutrition.
Right.
Okay, how do you actually, like, most of the time you're out there, let's just be real right now, you're not happy with how you look, you want to lose weight, right? And fortunately, the steps to lose weight usually and improve your health, like if you have someone that you trust, they're going to be pretty similar, right? You're going to eat better, you're going to exercise more, drink more water, sleep better, all those steps. Don't want to overwhelm you at all, but they're all pretty similar. So but for me, like I was in that spot, I had to reach out to someone and have someone hold me accountable, someone that I trusted in. And once he showed me how to do that and kind of how it worked online, because I didn't really know,
Mhm.
um, I was like, oh my gosh, like I could help so many people, especially in physical therapy, because people, if you've ever been hurt, I've been hurt, I've had knee surgery. You feel like, well, I'm hurt, so I can't exercise, so I'm just going to gain 20 pounds, whatever. That's
Yeah.
just the way that it goes. But usually it doesn't have to happen that way. And that's really where I started to bridge that gap, was when I was treating patients in the clinic. I showed them that, like, no, like as long as your nutrition is in a good spot, we always know, what do they say? Abs are made in the kitchen or whatever you hear.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
have that in a good spot or else you're not going to get anywhere. So, yeah, once I was able to do that, then I was like, well, I want to shift to just doing this online because I can reach so many more people. Um, for myself, it's way more flexible, like with my schedule.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a lot of fun learning new stuff. I don't know. I was working in the same spot for 6 years. I knew I needed to change. So apparently I'm someone that wants to change stuff every so often.
Yeah.
But
Well, we always
so
want to grow,
yeah,
right? We always want to
yeah.
learn. I have a
Mhm.
question for you. I wish I had met you before because I had something happen that sounds like you may have been able to help me. I was in a car accident. I got hit from
Okay.
behind. I had a concussion. I was diagnosed with a concussion, and I didn't have like a lot of physical symptoms beyond just brain fog and just didn't
Okay.
feel right, like some crepitus in my neck. And but I didn't realize I started to get kind of depressed. I'm a hockey player. I skate, right? So
No way. Me too.
yeah,
We didn't know this.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're into hockey. Well, where are you now? You're
I'm
in,
in Michigan, so
and I'm
hockey.
in Massachusetts. So the hockey
Yeah.
meccas, right? So yeah, I wasn't skating as much and I was much less active. And then I started going to some comfort food like yogurt and things like that.
Mhm.
Well, it turned into, um, I gained maybe 4 or 5 pounds, not a lot of weight. So
Mhm.
wasn't like too obvious. But then I started to get low back pain and sciatica. And I was going to physical therapy, but nobody in the conventional clinic talked to me about nutrition. And
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was trying to like put all my trust into them, and they never brought up nutrition. And then I finally realized, wait a minute, you know the answer to this. You need to fix this piece first. It's going to support everything that the physical therapists are doing in the clinic that I'm going to every week. And they're stretching me and strengthening me. And I'm like, I'm a hockey player. I'm 66. I'm not the strongest person in the world, but I can check you. So anyway, could you have helped me?
I mean, I'm definitely not a specialist in, okay, you have a concussion, what's the protocol? I don't even know. I would probably Google it to be straight up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What would you have
So,
brought up? I mean, but my presenting symptom at that point was low back pain, sciatica.
okay. I mean, I definitely would have brought it up. It would have been, so anytime someone comes into therapy, usually, and you have pain, most of the time it's an inflammation problem. What the inflammation is from, we don't know. It could be from
Well,
an
I'll tell
injury.
you what I'll tell you what I did. I took
Yeah,
out dairy because I had
boom,
gotten into
there you
this
go.
thing of eating dairy, and I
Yeah.
didn't have like GI symptoms. Took dairy out in 3 weeks, gone. I was 9 months in severe pain.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's what I was going to say. I was like, in therapy, we have, so that's like where we go back to, you go to whatever, a foot doctor, like they don't know, they won't know nutrition. They won't know maybe back, like they might know a little bit, but that's the same with therapy. You go into a therapist, a physical therapist, they're going to know the physical body. They're not going to really, it's getting better where we understand the whole person now, right? It's a lot more holistic, but yeah, they're still going to focus on the physical symptoms. Okay, what are the steps physically to get you better? But yeah,
I
it's,
never mentioned that word inflammation that you
oh
did.
really?
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
swelling, inflammation, very similar.
yeah.
Um, but usually if it's a nutritional problem, then all the stretching, all the exercise, it's not gonna get, it could actually make that worse. If it is a nutritional problem, something's causing the inflammation for you.
Yeah.
So that's something
Can
that,
you
that's
define what that is? What that means? Inflammation. A lot of times, I hear a lot of my clients say,
a great
"What
question.
is this inflammation? I like. What is it? Where is it? I can't see it."
Awesome question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So inflammation or swelling, it's very similar. So it's basically when your body, a really simple way. Let's say you sprain your ankle, right?
Yeah.
And you roll it. Um, your body's going to then try to heal itself. So then it swells, it sends a bunch of blood flow there to help heal the system. That's what inflammation is. And really, it's trying to protect that area in the time as it's healing.
So it's
So
it's a good thing in that case. It's
yes.
okay.
Yeah. So that's something to think about too. If you are injured, like there's a normal process that happens. So sometimes you don't really want to speed it up and get rid of certain like areas of the healing phase because it's there for a reason. I'm sure a good thing is maybe like, oh, it's bruising and it's changing this color, and that's just a sign of it healing, right? That's very similar to what inflammation is. But inflammation can come from an injury. It can come from like if your nutrition, if you have something in your diet that's causing inflammation internally. It can, let's see, what else? Now I'm thinking. Injury is pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty
Like
much.
for me, whatever when I took the dairy, I mean, it was a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, and it was. I'm pointing to my back. It all of a sudden once my back pain stopped, my sciatica went away. Um, so what could have been happening there?
I mean, it sounds like if that was a direct reason, then the dairy was for whatever reason giving you inflammatory response
Mm-hmm.
to your back.
Pressing on nerves and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. Yeah. So without getting too technical, like usually certain areas like of your spine will just inflame a little bit. And that's what sciatica is. So
mm-hmm.
the nerves come out of your back and they run down into your butt.
Yeah,
So if it's getting pinched, it can get pinched usually two spots, up in your back,
yeah.
or it'll get pinched like directly in your butt. And it takes a little bit of like, okay, is this coming from here? And you got to do some testing to see where it's coming from.
Okay.
That's good though. What were so you did that, your back pain, did it ever come back or
No,
have you just removed
well,
dairy altogether?
I'll have dairy occasionally, but not like I was eating like I got into this like comfort pattern of eating it every night, and then the the portion started getting a little bigger and a little bigger, and it was whole milk, non added sugar yogurt, good quality, but it just that much dairy in that form just didn't work for me. So now I'll have cheese occasionally. I never had GI symptoms, but it was absolutely, it's every time I can tell when I start to get, I start to get like the beginning of the symptoms, I notice I've been eating too much dairy.
Oh, okay.
So I
Did
just
you ever have a food sensitivity test or?
I have, yeah, I
Okay.
did. I had some sensitivity testing, and it was nothing came out outrageous, but I mostly ate dairy because I like it, and I came out like really low numbers, but consistently in dairy. But that's mostly what I ate.
Okay.
So I never really had any GI problems. Still don't with it, but it definitely I could kind of see it in my face. I got a little round, more just puffiness to my
Oh,
face.
really? Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think,
very minor things. Like you might not even notice it if you know me, but
yeah,
looking at pictures of me, I'm like, I just didn't look myself.
yeah, I think that's really important though. With any test that you get, right?
Yeah,
Like you have that test, you have whatever test that you want. I'm very familiar with people getting x-rays or MRIs, right? For, let's say you have a back injury. It's just one piece of the puzzle,
yeah,
right? You yourself and your awareness of, oh my gosh, like I'm swelling here. Okay, I've been eating more dairy like at night because it's like a comfort. Well, let's get, like, you were aware of that. So
hmm,
that's a big piece of the puzzle that I would always tell people, like, I know all the science. We can look at all these tests. That's great. But you're the person dealing with the pain. You're the person dealing with the inflammation. You're the best person, to really understand what's going on. So I think that's important that you took control of that too. That's really what I always try to tell my clients too. I'm like, I can't read your mind,
yeah,
of what
yeah.
you're struggling with. So yeah, that's really good.
I think it's really important too to have someone like you seem so easy to talk to. And I was not like proud of I was kind of ashamed or embarrassed
Yeah.
about eating all this yogurt and I didn't like to think about it that way. So I was pretty much in denial about what I was doing. So yeah, having that the relationship with your coach or your practitioner to be able to share that information is important, and having a nice dialogue and respect like you do with your
Yeah.
clients. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's something, is being like an online coach has shifted for
Yeah.
me. Like, I want to help. So you have sometimes this perception that you need to be nice on the surface, but now I'm very clear.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you how it is,
Yeah.
because people hire me to help them.
Yeah.
And if I'm just passing on something that's, really affecting them, I'm just doing them a disservice. So, I just got to make that clear with them too, up front.
But you're not mean about it, right? You're
No, no.
but you
It
do
can
that.
just come
Yeah.
off as mean, you just call people out, and
Yeah.
people be like, if they're looking from the outside in at our conversation, be like, geez. And I'm just doing them a disservice if I'm not, you know, helping them at the end of the day. So, yeah,
Do
it's
you
been,
always, when you're seeing people for various things, like across the board, whether it's fat loss or pain relief, like a lot of times, I want to repost later. I was reading one of your articles that you have on LinkedIn
yeah.
about neck and back pain and how to
Oh, yeah,
like
sure.
make a difference. It's a great article. I started to repost it and then I got fumbled up, so I'm going to do it again after. But do you always bring in what people are doing as far as nutrition? Because what I find is people have a hard time connecting those dots, that food actually ties into the big picture. Do you
Yeah.
always bring that in?
It's a good question. Usually I would. I think it really comes down to, and we were talking about this too, is really making it personalized. And
Yeah.
um, one thing, it's like, I have a female client and I have a male client, and it's like, okay, obviously they're way different, but usually, like, okay, to move the needle for them and to get them, like, okay, like I can actually see results, because a lot of people are like, why would I do that? It's not going to work,
Yeah.
like, or whatever it might be. And like a male, most of the time, they're probably eating too much.
Yeah.
Um, and if they want to lose weight, they got to cut back. They're usually pretty active. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
Usually females on the other end are usually eating probably not enough, and
Yeah.
not enough of the right foods. And a lot of times it's this dieting mindset their whole life of, I need to eat less and less to actually be healthy, which is just completely twisted, right? But that's what we think.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm so happy to hear you say that, because I recommend the same kinds of things. I talk about basal metabolic rate and that your body doesn't trust you anymore. It's just
yeah, okay.
adapted to
That's a
this.
good way to put it.
Yeah. Is that what you're getting at there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess that goes back to, do I introduce nutrition? Like, if that's a big part of it, it really depends on where that person's at and really breaking it down. Like, okay, what are you doing? Okay, what? And then it's like, and you probably know this too, we can pinpoint really quick, like, this is the thing that you need to really focus on right now,
Yeah.
to really move the needle. And a lot of times, most people know they need to eat healthier. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
so a big thing with me is working with busy professionals, right? What do? We go out to eat for dinner. That's a huge thing
Yeah.
because you're meeting with clients, or you go out to lunch, you're having drinks. How can you make that fit into your lifestyle and still be healthy? So that's a big thing that I always focus on, because I don't want people to think I do that. I do those things. There's no way I could ever be happy with how I look or actually, support my metabolism and lose weight. So yeah, that's really my focus there.
I
So
see.
yeah, short answer, yeah, nutrition, yeah.
So it sounds like really changing the framework and meeting people where they're at
Yeah,
and helping them make, without having to picture this huge mountain in front of them that they have to climb, that they can make this one small adjustment consistently. Every time you go out to eat, you're going out, 5 times a week, you're in sales, you're, whatever the thing is. And so being just one small habit at a time. Do you work on
yeah.
that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's always going to go back to preparation, and then like creating some habits in there,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oh, I need to work out more. Well, then and it's like, you don't work out in the morning, and you never work out after work because you're too tired. You're gonna have to start working out in the morning, right? And once you start doing it,
Mm-hmm.
you're just gonna start seeing the benefits. And it's always this thing of, how do I start that habit, right? Because it's hard at first. There's no way around it. And I think I just posted this. I'm like, you have to accept it's going to be hard,
Yeah.
because it always is. Like, I need to read 10 pages a day, and every day at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, I don't know. For some reason, I don't want to. And I'm like, but it's always worth it in the end.
Yeah.
You'll never hear someone, I don't know if you've ever heard heard someone, I lost 20 pounds in the last 3 months. I regret it. Like,
Yeah.
no, right? No one's ever said that.
No kidding.
Like, they're always like, it was the best thing ever. Like, da 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 da. So, yeah, I think in the moment, understanding it's hard, but I mean, there's so many other things. Like, what we do is like what I do too, holding people accountable, having people around you that are going to support you in making those changes, because it can be challenging when you want to make this change, whatever it is, and everyone around you is maybe against you.
Mm-hmm.
That's really tough, because then you're like, am I doing the right thing? Should I not worry about it? So yeah, definitely those habits are huge, and some preparation beforehand is really going to help.
What do you mean by prep? I'm curious about the preparation. What are you talking about there? Like, what
Yeah,
can people do to prepare?
for sure. So looking at your schedule, seeing where are you going to work out. If you have a flexible schedule, you need to make sure that you're putting in there, you're preparing for your workouts. If it's nutritional wise, are you preparing and having some things to take with you if you are going to be gone? Because then you're going to come, right? The classic is, oh, I'm not going to eat all day. Oh, I'm doing good. And then they're starving at dinner, and then they eat everything, right? Oh, well, it wasn't that bad. It was an okay day. Like, was it really? Like, no, probably not.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are probably the two big pinpoints that I would start with someone.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know what? When I start working with people, something new I've been trying is don't change anything. I just want you to write down what you're doing, just to
Okay.
become aware. That's for me. It's like pre-preparing, I guess, before you even try to adjust. Slow down and take notice. Does that sound like a good way for people to start?
That is yeah. I mean, that's a good question. I was just thinking about this, because there's always like, okay, like, take small steps, right? And you hear that side of it.
Yeah.
And then I've had some people do well with that. And then you also hear, just go all in and just like change quite a few things. And it's like, some people do well with that. So, I mean, because they know what they're doing. Like, when, like, a good example is, oh, I just had a heart attack. And what does that person do? They change like everything. Usually you hear that story, and then a year later they're in great shape and they've adapted that new lifestyle. So I think just, it's good to know like what probably you do well with and how much is on your plate right
Mhm.
now. If you have a ton and then that one step is probably good. Like one baby, see what you're doing. Let's change one thing. But if you're like, let's go. I mean, that's one thing I actually love about LinkedIn is a lot of people are very like, boom, like, let's do this. And they're just ready to go. And they're just like, just tell me what to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of like that. So
Well, I
it's,
love that you personalize it and that you really understand and meet people where they're at. That's, I think, really important. And how can we possibly cookie cutter this? Like this is going to work for everyone.
yeah.
To really match up, where get the information from the person, what they need, what their goals are, and then of course, if it's their goals, you're going to be more motivated, right?
Oh yeah. No, you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's like, and I was thinking about this earlier with anything in our lives, we always try to put things in a box.
Yeah.
So if you're from the outside looking in and maybe you're not super familiar with health and nutrition, you may be thinking, I just need to eat healthier or exercise more. It doesn't work. Like you've tried it and so many people have tried it. Like you need to have something that's really specific to you that fits into your lifestyle. And is geared towards your goals, like you said, because when it's personal like that, then you care more. If it's just like, oh, I exercise or I have to eat healthier, first, usually your mindset and you're familiar with this is you're thinking of as a negative right away of things that you don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
rather than adding into your life. And you're instantly like, I was talking to a girl and she was like, oh, I need to start D-Day is what she talked like when she has to
Oh.
diet. And I'm like, and I'm like, you're never gonna like, why even call it that? Like, you're gonna hate it. So having that mindset going into it is really helpful. And I think just to go back to having the team there, like I have a team of my clients, myself, there with you, because it gets hard and you'll lose that mindset. And it's always good to have someone pull you back in when you're struggling. I lose my like whatever positive mindset all the time.
Yes,
So
we're
it's like,
human.
yeah, I need my coach to pull me in or my friends like, what are you doing? Like, come on, no, like everything,
See,
so
that's a hockey mentality. You need a team.
yeah, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Dr. Bruno, we're almost out of time. Is there anything that you want to close up with or to share? I know it goes so fast. I could talk to you all day.
Yeah, I know. No, not, I mean, this was awesome with you, Joyce. I really appreciate you having me here. It was a lot of fun. And if you are struggling out there, if you're listening, you don't have to have something that you hate in terms of eating healthier or exercising more. That's not what it should be about. It should be about something that you like that's going to support your body. And if you can have that mindset, then you're going to be really successful.
I am so grateful to have you as a resource. You're absolutely in the same cut from the same cloth as I am. So I'm really grateful for your time today and for sharing with me your knowledge and insights.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.